Welcome to Whispers Beyond, where horror, philosophy, and the unknown intertwine. New full-length stories. Every Friday, your requested nightmares. Every Wednesday, bite-sized horrors. Every Monday. And in the spaces between, whispers of poetry and philosophy. Glimpses into the abyss. Like, subscribe, and listen closely.
Offered beasts. It has always been this way. It will always be this way. The fire crackles low, its embers pulsing like the slow breath of some resting beast. Around it, the children sit cross-legged in the dirt, their faces lit in shifting orange and shadow. Their eyes are wide, waiting. Some lean forward, hands clasped together. Others chew on strips of smoked meat, their movements quiet, respectful. The night beyond them is thick with the calls of unseen creatures, some familiar, others too new to yet have names. I warm my hands over the flames and exhale, watching the breath leave my lips and disappear into the damp jungle air. The bones in my fingers ache. The air is different tonight, heavier. I let the silence stretch, just long enough to make them restless. It is good for them to wait, to listen. They must learn to be still, to hear the things that live between the sounds. Then I speak. It has always been this way. Their spines straighten, their attention sharpens. They do not fidget now. Before you were born, before I was born, before the elders before me were born, the gods watched over us. They gave us the trees, the rivers, the beasts, and the bounty of the land. They shaped the world as they saw fit, and in return, we have lived as we were meant to live. This is the way of things. The children nod. Some whisper a quiet prayer to the unseen ones, hands pressed together in a gesture learned before they could even walk. I let them. They believe as I believed, as I should still believe. But the gods do not give blindly. They watch, they weigh. When we are worthy, they bless us. I gesture out into the dark. New fruits grow on trees where before there were none. A fish we have never seen before will appear in the river, fat and waiting. A new bird will sing its song for the first time, as if it had always been here, but only just now found its voice. Some of the children smile at this. They have seen the gods' gifts before. They have tasted them, accepted them without question. But the gods do not only bless. The air changes. The warmth of the fire no longer seems enough. Sometimes they test us. The smiles fade. When we forget our place, they remind us. A young boy, no more than 6, shrinks closer to his sister. His hands grip the fabric of her tunic, his dark eyes reflecting the fire. When I was young, there was a year the gods sent us a creature unlike any before it. We called it the Night Maw. Its cries sounded like a child weeping in the dark. Some who went to find it never returned. Those who did spoke of its eyes, too large, too bright, reflecting fire where there was no light. We tried to kill it, but the gods would not allow it. No matter how many times we struck it, its wounds would close. No matter how far we chased it, it would return. Until one night, it simply vanished. The boy presses his face into his sister's shoulder. She does not comfort him. Fear is not a thing to be soothed. It is a thing to be understood, to be honored. Another time, the gods sent us locusts unlike any before. They did not hum, nor beat their wings as others do. They were silent, and they came in waves, devouring the crops in a single night. The next morning, they were gone, as if they had never been. But we remembered. We understood. I scanned their faces, gauging their expressions. Some are fearful, good. Some are thoughtful, even better. But one, a girl, older than the rest, stares at me with something else in her eyes. Curiosity. She speaks. Her voice is calm, measured. Why do they come? Why do the gods send them at all? The other children stiffen. You do not ask why. The gods give, the gods take. It is not for us to question. And yet, I smile, but my chest is tight. It is not for us to know, I say, repeating the words that were spoken to me at her age. We are only meant to live. The fire crackles. Beyond the trees, something moves. A rustle, a shift in the canopy, a presence. I do not turn to look. The fire settles into a slow pulse, coals burning beneath the blackened logs. The children are silent now, their thoughts thick in the air between us. The jungle hums its low chorus, distant insect chatter, the slow rhythm of something unseen shifting through the undergrowth. The gods are listening. I watch the girl who asked the question. She does not look away, does not lower her gaze in deference. There is something in her that reminds me of myself when I was younger, a foolish, dangerous thing. The gods do not explain themselves, I say. She nods, but does not look satisfied. None of them do. Their small fingers twist in the fabric of their tunics, their bare feet digging into the dirt. They have all seen things they did not understand. They have all felt it. Once there was a boy who did not listen. The children straighten. A story. His name is not remembered because he is not remembered. That is the way of things. I lean forward, letting the firelight cast shadows over my face. He was a hunter, fast, sharp-eyed. He believed he understood the jungle better than the elders. When an arrival came, a beast unlike any seen before, he did not fear it. He did not wait. He did not show respect. He followed it deep into the jungle, where the gods do not wish us to walk. The girl blinks. What did he see? I do not answer. The next morning, he returned, but he did not speak. His eyes were wrong. His skin was cold, though the sun burned hot upon his back. When his mother called his name, he did not know it. He ate, but he did not taste. He sat, but he did not rest. A shiver passes through the circle. That night, he walked into the jungle again. He did not return. The boy who had been clutching his sister lets out a breath, too long and too slow. His sister hushes him, but I see the way her fingers tremble against his hair. The gods do not like to be questioned, I say. The gods do not like to be seen. The girl frowns, but we see them in the arrivals, don't we? In the gifts. I hold her gaze for a long moment. Do we? The jungle exhales. The trees shift, their canopies whispering against one another. The sounds are normal, familiar, but suddenly I feel the weight of them. The jungle is too full, too alive. My bones ache in a way I do not understand. The girl opens her mouth as if to speak again, but this time another sound cuts through the night. call. Distant, somewhere beyond the trees, a sound unlike anything I have ever heard. It is not the growl of a jaguar or the cry of a bird. It is something in between, something that does not belong. An arrival. The children tense, some shrinking back, others staring into the dark with wide, expectant eyes. This is not fear, it is reverence. The gods have blessed us, the boy's sister whispers. The girl does not whisper it, she only looks at me. The fire pops, sending a single ember spiraling into the sky. I follow its path, watching as it disappears into the black. The air is heavier now. I do not know why. The jungle holds its breath. The ember fades into the night, swallowed by the sky, and I feel its absence in my bones. The sound, the new sound, the arrival, lingers in the air like the final note of a song no one remembers beginning. The children are silent, waiting. I should speak. I should tell them what we always say, that the gods have blessed us, that we will see their gift soon, that it has always been this way. But my tongue is still. The girl's eyes are on me, dark and searching. She sees my hesitation, and I despise that I've given her something to see. The others do not notice. They are too young, too full of belief. They glance toward the trees, ears pricked like prey animals scenting a predator. They do not fear, they trust. Tomorrow, I say at last, my voice even. Tomorrow, we will see what the gods have brought us. The younger children murmur in agreement, excitement flickering in their faces. The fear from the old stories is already fading. They are thinking of new fruits, new beasts, new gifts. The girl is still watching me. The fire sputters as the logs collapse inward, shifting the light. Shadows stretch and contract, flickering against the wide trunks of the jungle trees. For a moment, just a moment, I swear they move too perfectly. I rise to my feet, my joints pop. The children watch me, waiting. Sleep, I tell them. We will hunt at first light. Some linger, whispering among themselves. Others wander off into the night, toward the shelters woven from broad jungle leaves and sturdy branch frames. The young boy clutches his sister's hand as they disappear into the darkness. The girl remains. You hesitated, she says, her voice barely above the crackling of the fire. I exhale through my nose, rubbing my hands together over the heat. You are young, I tell her. You think hesitation means doubt. And it doesn't? I do not answer. She studies me, waiting, but when it becomes clear, I will give her nothing more. She bows her head slightly, a sign of respect, but I can see the flicker of frustration in the motion. She does not like being denied. She will either become a great leader or die because of it. She turns, walking toward the shelters, and I finally allow myself to stare into the dark where the sound had come from. It is silent now, but the silence is wrong. The insects should have resumed their chatter. The distant birds should have called to one another. The jungle should be alive again. Instead, it waits. I watch the trees for a long time. Then, with the fire at my back, I return to my shelter and try to sleep. I do not dream. I wake to the stillness, not the quiet of dawn, when the jungle stirs with the shifting of leaves and the distant call of birds, not the silence of sleep when the fire burns low and the night creatures move unseen beneath the canopy. This is something else, something deeper. I sit up slowly, the woven mat beneath me creaking as my weight shifts. The shelter is warm, humid with the breath of the jungle, but the air outside feels empty, as if the world has paused. I listen. The jungle is not making a sound. I have known silence before, after a hunt, when the first arrow finds its mark, before the rains, when the sky thickens and waits. But this is different. This silence is unnatural. I rise to my feet, my joints stiff, my body heavy with the weight of age. Pushing aside the woven flap of the shelter, I step out into the dim half-light of early morning. The fire pit is cold ash, untouched since the night before. The embers should have still been smouldering. The village stirs. A few of the younger hunters are already preparing for the day, tying bone blades to their waists, slinging quivers over their shoulders. A woman bends near a basket of dried roots, grinding them between smooth stones. Everything is as it should be, except for the silence. No birds, no insects, no distant cries of the jungle's waking things. The gods have blessed us, or they have sent something else. I hear footsteps approaching. I turn before she speaks. The girl. Her brow is furrowed, her dark eyes sharp. She heard it too. The jungle is listening, she says. I nod. She does not ask what it means. She already knows. A rustling from the other side of the clearing breaks the moment. The young boy from last night stumbles out of his family's shelter, rubbing sleep from his face. His sister follows, whispering to him, smoothing his hair down with careful hands. The moment she sees me, she bows her head slightly, then speaks. Elder, the hunt. The others hear her and begin to gather. The hunters look to me, expectant. The excitement of last night lingers in them. A new arrival, a new gift. We go, I say. A ripple of movement passes through the gathering. Spears lifted, knives checked, arrows counted. The jungle does not speak as we move toward it. It only watches. The jungle swallows us whole. We move in silence, stepping carefully over the twisting roots that rise from the earth like the knuckles of buried hands. The canopy above sways lazily, thick leaves shifting with the breeze, but the stillness remains. The jungle listens. We do not speak. We do not need to. Each of us knows the ritual of the hunt. The young ones move ahead, crouched low, their bodies pressed to the earth as they scan for tracks, for broken leaves, for the smallest sign of movement. It is always this way. It has always been this way. But today, something is wrong. The jungle is too clean. The usual scatter of fallen leaves, the hanging scent of damp rot, gone. The air is too crisp, too exact. I do not see the usual crawling things beneath the underbrush. No chittering beetles turning soil. No pale worms writhing between decaying roots. It is as if something has swept the land clean. Ahead of me, the girl slows. She sees it too. The others do not notice. They are eager to find the arrival, eager to take what the gods have given us. I watch their faces, the flicker of excitement in their eyes, the easy faith in their steps. They do not feel the weight in the air, the wrongness of the silence. Only the girl lingers, one step behind the others, her gaze flicking to me. I say nothing. I cannot. A sound breaks the stillness. A low, wet exhale. The young hunters freeze, their bodies going rigid. They turn their heads as one, eyes locked on a patch of ferns just ahead. A shadow shifts behind them. Something breathes. A shudder runs through the leaves, but the undergrowth does not part as it should. It is as if something moves behind the fabric of the world itself, brushing against its edges. A footstep, software, precise. A predator's step. The boy who clutched his sister's hand last night now grips his spear with shaking fingers. His knuckles are white. Then the arrival steps into view, and I know immediately. This is not a beast. The gods have not blessed us. They have sent something else. The thing before us is not a gift. It stands at the edge of the clearing, half hidden in the ferns, its shape wrong in ways I cannot yet name. At first glance, it looks like an animal, 4 limbs, a broad chest, dark hide stretched over sinew and bone. But the longer I stare, the more the shape resists understanding. It is too still. No shifting of weight, no rise and fall of breath. The hunters do not notice. They see only what they expect. A new creature, another arrival. I can feel their eagerness, their anticipation to be the first to name it, to kill it, to taste its flesh. But the girl, she stands rigid beside me, her breath tight in her chest. She knows. Elder, one of the young hunters whispers. What is it? I open my mouth to answer, but the words do not come. Because now, as the light shifts, I see it. It is not casting a shadow. The jungle's dappled light flickers across the ground, the leaves, the roots, but not it. It is untouched, as though it is not truly here. A cold pulse runs through my skull. This has happened before, a long time ago, when I was younger. A creature that did not belong, a creature that moved without weight, without hunger, without history. And then, one day, it was gone. The young hunter steps forward, eager, his spear raised. He will throw. Stop. The word is out before I know I have spoken it. The others hesitate. They do not understand. To them, I have never stopped to hunt before. To them, I am their elder, their guide, the one who names the arrivals and tells them what is safe and what is not. To hesitate now is to betray all that I have taught them. The girl watches me, waiting to see what I will do. I have only one choice. I must pretend. We do not take it today, I say, voice steady. The gods have given it to us, but we must wait. It is not yet ready to be taken. The young hunter frowns but lowers his spear. The others exchange glances, uncertain, but I see no fear in them, only trust. They believe me. The girl does not. She says nothing, but I can feel her stare, burning against my skin. The creature does not move. It does not react to our voices, to the spears pointed toward it, to the weight of our eyes on its body. It only waits, as if it is watching us. We go, I say. I turn first. The others follow. I do not look back, but I feel it, standing there motionless, untouched by the light, waiting. We leave the clearing, stepping back into the embrace of the jungle. No one speaks. The others trust me. They always have. But I feel the weight of their confusion, the way their hands linger near their weapons, the way their eyes flicker toward the path behind us. They do not understand why we did not take the creature, because they do not see what I see. The girl walks beside me, her silence sharper than the spears at our backs. She waits, measuring me, watching the way my breath is too shallow, the way my shoulders are tight. She knows. I do not look at her. The jungle should feel familiar, but it doesn't. The silence is still there. Not true silence, but something beneath it. Like a hum just below hearing. Like the sound the earth makes when it is waiting for the storm to break. The undergrowth shifts ahead. Something small, quick. A normal creature. A real one. The young hunter, the boy who had been eager to throw his spear, lifts a hand signaling the others. His movements are smooth, practiced. This is a hunt he understands. He stalks forward, careful with his steps, eyes fixed on the source of the movement. The others slow, falling into position. A practiced rhythm. This is what we do. The boy grips his spear. He throws. The underbrush shudders. The cry of something sharp and high. The sound of a body hitting the earth. The boy moves forward, his chest swelling. A clean kill. He pushes past the ferns and stops. Something is wrong. The others sense it, stepping forward cautiously. I move toward the boy, slow and deliberate, dreading what I already know. I see the kill. It is a creature we have hunted before, one of the jungle's natural things. 4 legs, brown hide, a body meant for sprinting. The boy's spear pierces through its ribs, through its heart. A clean death. But the blood is wrong. It is too dark, too thick. It clings to the fur in a way that does not seem real, as though it were only pretending to be blood. The boy stares at it, breathing heavily, his hands tightening around the shaft of his spear. Then, before my eyes, the blood begins to vanish, not soaking into the ground, not drying, vanishing, as if it was never there at all. The others see it now. I hear someone inhale sharply behind me, a murmur of confusion. The illusion is breaking, even for them. "Elder," the boy says. His voice is small now. The spear trembles in his hands. He is afraid. Good. He should be. But I cannot let it show. I step forward, grip the end of the spear, and pull it free. The body slumps forward, but it does not move the way a body should. I crouch, pressing my fingers to the wound. The fur is warm beneath my touch. The flesh is soft, familiar. It should feel real. But I have lived long enough to know when something is lying to me. "We take it back," I say. The others hesitate. I see it in their faces, the first seeds of doubt. They do not understand what is happening, but some instinct deeper than thought is warning them. Something is not right. "It is still meat," I say. It is what I must say. The hunters nod slowly, bending to lift the body. I watch the bloodless earth where it fell. The jungle does not reclaim it. The soil does not darken. The leaves do not stain. It is as if the kill never happened, The girl steps closer. I feel her presence before she speaks. "You saw it," she murmurs. Not a question, a statement. I say nothing. She exhales, tilting her head slightly, studying me. "What did the gods send us?" she whispers. We return to the village beneath a sky that feels thinner than before. The kill is carried between two hunters, its legs bound with woven fiber. The others follow close, their silence heavier than it should be. They do not speak of what they saw, but I feel their unease, the way they glance toward the carcass, the way their fingers tighten on their weapons. The jungle does not release us easily. The path back feels longer. The air presses against my skin, thick and cloying. I have walked this trail all my life, but today I do not trust it. I step where I always step, brush past the same hanging vines, but something is wrong. The space between the trees feels stretched. The jungle is watching, but not in the way it always has. The girl keeps close beside me. She has not spoken since we left the clearing, but her eyes are sharp, restless, as though she is waiting for me to confirm what we both know. I won't. Not here. Not yet. When we finally emerge from the trees, the village greets us with the scent of firewood and crushed leaves. The others, those who did not join the hunt, rise from their tasks, watching as we return. Their faces brighten at the sight of the carcass. "The gods have blessed us," someone murmurs. I watch the words move through them. A comfort, a reassurance, a thing that must be true because it has always been true. The kill is taken to the center of the village, where the fires burn low. The younger ones rush forward, eager to touch it, to run their fingers through its fur, to see the newest gift of the gods up close. The hunters begin to prepare it. The knives come out. The work is swift, efficient, the way it has always been done. I should turn away. I should go to my shelter, let them work. But I don't. I watch. I have to watch. The first cut slides along the belly. The flesh parts, and beneath it, nothing. No fat, no organs, no pulsing red of life. Only hollow space. The hunter who made the cut staggers back, his knife slipping from his fingers. The others freeze, staring. The youngest among them frowns, confused, reaching forward as if to touch the opened wound. "Do not," I say, the command sharper than I intended. The child jerks his hand away. The hunters look to me, waiting. They do not understand. They do not want to understand. This is not how it is supposed to be. The gods send their gifts, and we take them. But this is not a gift. This is something else. I force myself to step forward. My fingers are stiff, but I crouch beside the carcass and press a hand inside the wound. The flesh is warm, too warm. The heat does not fade, does not drain with the open air. I expect to feel the smoothness of ribs, the slick cords of muscle, but my fingers press into emptiness. The air inside is thick, like the jungle before a storm. I withdraw my hand slowly. The flesh does not bleed. The wound does not gape or sag. It holds its shape as if it were never truly there at all. I hear the girl inhale behind me. She knows. The others do not. Not yet. I could speak. I could tell them. I could could shape the words that would shatter the fragile balance they do not even realize they stand upon. But instead, I wipe my fingers against my tunic, straighten, and say, "Burn it." A murmur ripples through them. This is not our way. The gifts of the gods are meant to be used, to be taken. Elder, burn it. My voice is final. I do not explain. The hunters obey. They lift the body and place it upon the waiting wood. The flames catch. The fire grows. And as the heat licks at its skin, the carcass begins to change. The fur does not burn. It peels away, like curling pages of an unread book. The hide shifts, smoothing out, darkening, turning to something sleek, unnatural, reflective. Something I do not have words for. Then, as the fire swells, the body disappears, not in smoke, not in cinders. It simply ceases to be. The flames remain, the wood remains, but the body is gone. The hunters stumble back. I do not move. The girl turns to me, and this time, I have no lie to give her. She whispers the question that is already forming in my own mind. What are we? I do not answer, because for the first time in my life, I do not know. The fire eats what is not there. The villagers stand frozen, their faces flickering in the glow, eyes wide, locked on the flames. The carcass, the thing we brought from the jungle, is gone. Not reduced to charred remains, not swallowed by smoke. It simply ceased to be. No scent of burning flesh, no blackened bone. Nothing. A silence presses against the space where it had been, thick and heavy, as though the world itself is trying to smooth over its absence, to erase the moment before it can be questioned. I wait. The villagers do not understand what they have seen, not fully. They grasp for meaning, for an explanation that will fit into the world they know. It was cursed, a hunter murmurs at last, hesitant, as if speaking the words will make them true. The gods sent it as punishment. A murmur spreads through the gathered crowd, relief creeping into their voices. Yes, a punishment, a test. They can accept this. It makes sense. But I see the flickers of doubt in some of their eyes. And the girl, she does not speak, but she does not look away. She is waiting. I turn from the fire before I let my expression betray me. We will not speak of it again, I say, my voice even. A pause. Then, nods of agreement. This is how it has always been. When the gods send something we do not understand, we do not ask, we accept, we move forward. The villagers disperse, returning to their tasks, their backs too straight, their steps too careful. Their trust has not shattered, but a crack has formed. The girl does not move. She is still staring at the fire, at the empty space where the body should be. "Elder," she says, voice quiet, "you saw it." I do not answer. She turns to me, searching my face. "That thing, it wasn't real, was it?" I exhale slowly. It was real enough to kill. She frowns. It is not an answer, and she knows it. "The gods do not make mistakes," she says carefully, but she does not sound certain. I study her. She's too young to carry the weight of these thoughts, but she will not put them down. "You should not linger here," I tell her. The night is coming. For the first time, she hesitates. Not out of obedience, out of fear. She does not know what is waiting in the dark anymore. Neither should you, she says. She turns and walks away, leaving me alone with the fire. The jungle stretches beyond the village, dark and watching. I stare into it, searching for something I cannot name. Somewhere out there, the thing we saw in the clearing still stands where we left it, unmoving, unaffected, waiting. The jungle is watching. I feel it pressing against the village, silent and full, as I step away from the fire. The sky above is turning deep indigo, the last breath of daylight fading beneath the heavy canopy. I should go to my shelter, rest, prepare for what comes next. But I do not. My feet carry me instead to the edge of the village, where the last of the woven huts give way to the undergrowth. The jungle looms before me, thick and unbroken. I listen. The sounds of the village have settled behind me, soft voices, the crackle of cooking fires, the rustle of woven mats being laid out for sleep. Familiar things, human things, but beyond them, nothing. The jungle remains silent. I have never heard it like this before. Even at night, the world should be full of life. Insects chittering, birds shifting on their perches, the distant calls of hunting things. But tonight, there is only the weight of stillness, as if the jungle itself is holding its breath. I step forward, past a line of huts, just enough for the shadows of the trees to swallow me. There, a shape, not in the trees, but behind them. I cannot see it, but I feel it. The same presence as before, in the clearing. The arrival. It has not moved. It stands just out of sight, just beyond the first line of trees, waiting. I inhale, slow and steady, the humid air thick on my tongue. My body is still, but my mind moves quickly, measuring, weighing. This is not a hunt. This is not a gift. This is something else. Elder. The voice is quiet, but it cuts through the silence like a blade. First turn. The girl stands behind me, arms folded, eyes narrowed. She followed me. Of course she did. You should be sleeping, I say. She tilts her head, looking past me, toward the jungle, toward it. So should you, she says. I study her, weighing my words. You should not be here, I tell her. Neither should you, she says again. She takes a step closer, lowering her voice. You know it's still out there. I do not respond. I do not need to. She knows the answer. She inhales sharply, arms tightening around herself. What are we supposed to do? It is the first time she has asked me something, expecting a real answer. Not a lesson, not a story, something true. I watch her carefully, choosing my next words with great care. We will do as we have always done, I say, voice steady. We will wait. She frowns. For what? I do not answer. She does not ask again. The jungle remains still. The thing beyond the trees does not move. I place a hand on her shoulder, firm, a gesture that means this conversation is over. Go back, I say. She does not fight me. She hesitates for only a breath longer, then nods once and turns back toward the village, disappearing between the huts. I linger a moment longer, listening, watching. The weight of the jungle does not shift. It is waiting for something too. I turn and leave, stepping away from the trees, away from the thing that is not a beast. The village is quiet when I return. The girl is gone, tucked into her shelter for the night. The fires are burning low. The stars look strange. I do not sleep. The stars are wrong. I sit outside my shelter, knees drawn up, watching them through the shifting canopy. They are where they should be, and yet they are not. I have looked at these stars my entire life. I know their patterns, their rhythms, the way they guide us through the seasons, how they tell us when the rains will come, when the rivers will swell, when the earth will crack with drought. And yet, something is off. The spaces between them feel too even, their light too still, a sky painted by an unsteady hand. The fire beside me is dying. A few embers struggle against the dark, curling in on themselves. I do not feed them. I let them fade. The jungle remains silent. I am not alone. I do not hear it. I do not see it. But I feel it. The weight of it pressing against my ribs, resting at the base of my skull. The thing in the trees. The arrival. It has not left. I close my eyes and exhale slowly. Elder. I do not startle. I knew she would come. I open my eyes. The girl stands at the edge of the firelight, arms folded, her gaze flicking between me and the jungle. Her shadow stretches long behind her, wavering as the flames struggle to hold. You didn't sleep, she says. Neither did you, I answer. She does not deny it. For a long time, she only looks at me. Not as a child looks at an elder, but as one hunter looks to another. She is afraid, but fear is not what brought her here. You feel it too, she says. Not a question. I nod once. The tension in her shoulders tightens, then releases all at once, like a bowstring let loose. She lets out a breath, slow and shaky. Why is it still here? She asks. I shake my head. I do not know. Her brow furrows. She does not like that answer. Has this ever happened before? She presses. Have the gods ever left something behind? A shadow flickers through my memory. A creature from my youth, pale-skinned, too still, too quiet. A thing that did not fear, that did not hunger, that did not last. Once, I admit. She straightens slightly, sensing the weight of the word. And what happened to it? One day it was gone. She frowns. Gone, as if it had never been. Her breath is steady, measured, but I see the way her fingers twitch at her sides. That will happen again, I say. It always does. Her jaw tightens. And if it doesn't, I have no answer for that. She looks back toward the jungle, where the trees stand dark and waiting. We should go back, she says. I watch her carefully. To what end? To see, she says. I do not answer. She swallows. I see the hesitation flicker in her eyes. The part of her that still believes, still wants to believe. You told me once that the gods do not like to be seen, she says carefully. That they do not like to be questioned. She turns to me, and her voice is quieter now, heavy with something she does not yet know how to carry. But what if they don't care at all? The fire pops softly beside us. A single ember curls into the night. I look at her for a long time. Then I rise. Come. I do not ask why she follows me. She was always going to. We step into the dark together. The jungle does not welcome us back. The girl walks beside me, silent, her steps careful, precise. The weight of what we are doing presses against us, though neither of us name it. We should not be returning. And yet, we are. The village is behind us now, its glow swallowed by the trees. The path ahead winds the same way it always has, but it feels different, as though the space between the trees has shifted. The angles of the roots beneath our feet have changed. I do not let the thought settle. The jungle still does not sing. No insects, no night birds, no breath but our own. The girl grips the knife at her waist. Not a hunting knife, her father's knife, a weapon meant for war. She expects danger, so do I. We move without speaking, through a world that has begun to forget itself. Then, a sound, software, shifting, not behind us, ahead. We stop at the same time. The girl tightens her grip on the blade. I say nothing, but she reads my silence and understands. We are not alone. The trees break ahead, parting into the clearing. It is still there. The arrival. It has not moved, not an inch. It stands exactly where we left it, its body still, untouched by the passage of time. I stare at it, and I swear something is wrong. It is not just motionless, it is too still, like a carving of something that has never lived, like a thought made real, but only just barely. The girl exhales slowly. It's waiting, she whispers. She's right, but waiting for what? I step forward, closer. The girl moves with me, her movements tight, ready. But the arrival does not react. It does not acknowledge us, as if we do not exist. The closer I get, the more I see how unnatural it is. Its skin is not quite skin. It bends like flesh, but does not reflect light the way it should. It is not wet, not dry, only present. Its limbs are too long, too clean, as though they were shaped from memory rather than experience, as though they had never truly been used. And its face, it has no face, not truly. There are suggestions of features, the barest hints of ridges where eyes might sit, a shallow curve where a mouth should be, but it is unfinished. Or maybe it was never meant to be finished. I feel the girl shift beside me. She sees it too. Elder, she says, voice low. This is not... She doesn't finish. She doesn't have to. We both understand, though neither of us want to. This is not an animal. This is not prey. This is not a gift. The girl's breath is steady, but her fingers are tight around the handle of the blade. It's not real, she whispers. I do not correct her, because I do not know if she is right. I step closer, and the moment my foot brushes the earth, the arrival moves. Not its body, the space around it. The world shifts, like something just outside my vision has turned its head to look at me. The edges of the trees blur. not out of focus, but out of certainty. The ground beneath me feels thinner, and the sky is wrong. It knows I'm here. I stop. The girl does too. We are on the edge of something. A thought I have never had before uncoils in the back of my mind. If we take one more step, we will not come back the same. The girl grips my arm, not in fear, but in warning. She feels it too. I swallow, but my throat is dry. My hands ache. My bones ache. The girl speaks, but her voice sounds far away. Elder. I blink. The arrival does not move, but the jungle does. For the first time, I do not know where I am. The girl looks at me, her breath fast and uneven. What do we do? I should not hesitate. I should tell her we leave, that we go back to the village, that we pretend, that we forget, that we wait for it to vanish, like they always do. But this time I am not sure it will, and so I make my choice. We see, I say. I kneel, reaching into the leather pouch at my waist. My fingers are stiff as I untie the cord, feeling the weight of what I am about to do. I pull out a small bundle of dried roots, bound together with red fiber. The vision brew. The girl's breath catches. Elder. It is time. Her throat bobs as she swallows, her pulse visible in her neck. She understands. This is the moment of death. For all elders, at the end of their years, the vision brew must be taken, so they may see the path ahead, so they may walk into the next world with understanding. But this is not my time. Not yet. Not until now. I break the bundle. The scent is sharp, bitter, the taste of endings. I place the dried roots on my tongue, chewing slowly, my teeth grinding down the fibers, releasing the thick, acrid oils into my mouth. The girl watches. She is afraid, not of the jungle, not of the thing standing in the clearing. She is afraid of what I will see. The taste burns my throat, curls in my lungs. My vision flickers. The sky tightens. And then, the world begins to unravel. The world does not end. It only changes. The vision brew seeps into my blood, winding through my limbs, pulling the edges of the world apart. I do not resist. The jungle does not dissolve into mist, nor does the sky open to reveal some great spirit beyond. There is no afterlife waiting to greet me. Instead, I see. The arrival does not move, but I see what it is. No, not what it is. What it is meant to be, the shape of it. It is not a creature. It is an idea. A thought made flesh, but not fully, not completely. An unfinished thing. And beyond it, there is more. The jungle is thin, not in substance, but in purpose. I blink. The trees are repeating. The same branch, the same curl of vine, the same bend of a fallen leaf, copied, placed, folded into the world, as if it was meant to be unnoticed. But I notice it. I was never meant to notice it. The jungle does not stretch endlessly. It is not ancient. It is a space that has been arranged. The sky ripples, the stars shift, not naturally, but deliberately, as if something is realigning them. The illusion bends, and behind it, I see them. They are not gods. They are not watching from the heavens, nor whispering from the earth. They are beside us, behind everything. They move, not with bodies, but with intention. I cannot describe them, because I was never meant to. They are not spirits. They are not divine. They are placing things, measuring the arrivals, the cycle, the jungle, United States. We are not being blessed. We are not being tested. We are being observed. And then they see me. I feel them turn their attention toward me. A weight settles in my chest, an understanding deeper than thought. I should not be seeing this. I should not be aware. The jungle shifts, not naturally, but as if correcting itself. The vision brood twists in my stomach. The sky begins to close. The shape of the world presses in, forcing itself back into place. The girl's voice cuts through the breaking light. Elder. I blink. The arrival is still there, but the jungle is normal again. The sky is whole. The moment has passed. But I remember. I know. The girl grips my arm, eyes wide, breath fast. What did you see? I do not answer. I look at the arrival, standing motionless in the clearing. It is waiting. But now, I understand why. We leave, I say. The girl does not argue. She does not need to. She saw enough. We turn from the clearing, stepping back into the jungle. The silence is deeper now, because now I hear what was always missing. The jungle was never singing, not truly, because it was never alive. It was only running, and we were inside it. We move through the jungle, but it is not the same. The trees are where they have always been. The ground beneath my feet is solid, damp with the breath of night. The girl moves beside me, silent, her hand still clenched around her knife. But I see it now, the pattern, the repetition. Leaves curl in the same direction, bending at the same unnatural angles. A fallen branch in our path is too cleanly broken, too deliberately placed. The jungle does not grow. It does not change. It resets. I swallow, but my throat is dry. The girl glances at me. She is waiting for me to speak, to name what we saw, to shape it into something that fits the world we know. But I cannot, because the world we know is gone. I step over a tangle of roots and realize I have stepped here before. Not hours ago, not yesterday, before. A part of me knows if I turn around, if I retrace my steps, I will find them unchanged. A perfect loop, a pattern. We are walking inside something. The thought presses against my ribs, tight and unbearable. I inhale slowly, counting my breaths, grounding myself in what is still real. The girl suddenly stops. She tenses, eyes locked ahead. I follow her gaze, and my stomach tightens. The village is wrong. It looks the same huts, the same smoke curling from the dying fires, the same figures moving in the dim glow. But it is too still. The people do not move naturally. Their gestures are too slow, too deliberate. I focus on one of them. A hunter crouched beside the fire, sharpening his blade. The motion is familiar. I have seen him do this before. And then he repeats it, the same movement, not similar, the same. The blade never dulls, the edge never changes. He is not sharpening it. He is performing the act of sharpening, over and over, a sequence. My breath hitches. The girl sees it too. I hear it in the way her breathing sharpens, the way her fingers twitch at her sides. She takes a step forward. "Wait," I whisper. She stops. Not out of obedience, out of fear. We should not be here. We should not be seeing this. Then, someone turns. A figure near the fire. A woman, her face in shadow. She looks at us. No, she looks through us. The firelight catches her eyes, too flat, too hollow. Like the arrival. And then she smiles. A slow, deliberate smile. A smile that does not belong to her. The girl grabs my wrist. "Elder, we should leave. We should run." But my body does not move, because now I understand. We have always been here. We have always walked this path. We have always returned. And every time we forget. The arrivals are not gifts. The punishments are not trials. They are measuring us. And when we are no longer useful, they reset us. The woman by the fire tilts her head, her smile never changing. A smile that does not reach her eyes. The jungle does not move. The stars do not shift. The night waits, and so do they. We do not move. The village stands before us, quiet, unchanged. Or rather, unchanged in a way that was never real to begin with. The woman by the fire is still smiling. Not at me, not at the girl, at something else. Something that sees us seeing. I feel the girl's fingers tighten around my wrist. "Elder," she breathes. She's afraid. So am I. But there is nothing to run from. The village is exactly as it was. The same fires, the same huts, the same figures moving in the same patterns. The others do not notice. They move as they always have, sharpening blades, stirring coals, preparing food that no longer smells real. Because it isn't. Because we are not. The weight of it settles in my chest, thick, suffocating. I was not meant to see. I was not meant to remember. The jungle is not a jungle. The sky is not a sky. The village is a place that repeats. And the gods, the things beyond the veil, are watching, measuring, waiting for us to forget. Because that is what always happens. That is what they do. I exhale, slow, careful. My voice is calm, steady, even as my bones ache under the weight of the truth. We go back. The girl doesn't move. "Elder," her voice is shaking. I know. I place a hand on her shoulder, not to comfort her, to remind her that we are still here, for now. I step forward, back into the village. The girl follows. The night air is thick with something that isn't smoke. The fire burns low, crackling like it always does. The hunter still sharpens his blade. The woman still smiles. She watches me, and I know. She is waiting for me to forget, because I always do, because I always must. But this time, I don't. I look away first. I move through the village, step by step, not breaking stride, not showing what I know. The girl stays close. Neither of us speak. Not until we reach my shelter. Not until we step inside. And then, the girl turns to me, her face pale in the dying firelight. What do we do? Her voice is too small. I do not answer. I sit. I look at my hands. They have built this village. They have carried the weight of tradition. And yet, I do not know if they are real. If I am real. I exhale. We sleep, I say. She stares at me. Elder. We sleep, I repeat, voice heavy. And when we wake, we will do what we have always done. She does not move. She does not believe me. Neither do I. She steps back, hesitates, and then she leaves. I sit alone in my shelter, staring at the woven walls, at the carved wooden bowls, at the space where my hands rest on my knees. And I wait, because I know, by morning, this will all be gone. I will wake, and the village will be as it always was. The jungle will sing again. The others will move without hesitation. The woman will not smile. The hunter's blade will need sharpening again. The girl might forget, or she won't. And if she doesn't, they will take her first. I press my fingers against my temples. My skull aches. The fire outside flickers. I close my eyes, and the world resets. I wake to the sound of birds. The jungle hums with life. The air thick with the scent of damp earth, crushed leaves, and smoke from the morning fires. For a moment, I lie still, listening. The sounds are right. The world has returned to the way it should be. And yet, I know. I sit up slowly, my joints stiff, my breath deep and measured. My shelter is the same. The woven walls, the wooden bowls, the smooth stone beside my sleeping mat, all as they have always been. Except it isn't. I push aside the flap of my shelter and step outside. The village moves around me, familiar and wrong all at once. The hunter crouches by the fire, sharpening his blade. The same motion, precise, rhythmic. The woman stirs the embers of the cooking pit, her hands moving without urgency, without variation. I watch them too closely. They do not notice, because to them, nothing has changed. The jungle sings again. The morning light filters through the trees, catching on the shifting canopy, dappling the ground with moving gold. The weight of the night is gone, because it was never meant to last. I inhale deeply. The air is warm, welcoming. The village has been corrected, but I am still here. I am still me. And I remember, I turn, searching, and I find the girl. She stands near the farthest shelter, staring at the village, as if seeing it for the first time, as if she knows. I exhale. She remembers. They did not take her. Not yet. She turns her head slowly, meeting my gaze across the village. She does not speak. She does not need to. We stand in the quiet between moments, between the shifting of the wind and the crackling of the fire. We should not be here. We should not remember. And yet we do. She takes a step toward me, hesitates, and then someone calls her name. She flinches. A voice from behind her, from the shelter she stepped out of. A voice too familiar, too normal, too safe. One of the women, a voice that should comfort her. But the girl does not turn immediately. She lingers, just long enough for me to see the hesitation in her stance. Then, slowly, she looks away from me. She nods at whoever spoke to her. She moves toward them. Her steps are too careful. I watch her go, and for the first time I wonder how long we have left. How long until they fix us too? How long until we forget? The jungle sings, the village moves, the fire burns as it always has. And I say nothing, not yet. The jungle sings, the village moves. The morning is warm, thick with the scent of firewood and damp earth. Smoke curls lazily from the embers of the cook fires. Children chase each other between the shelters, their laughter bright and easy, as if nothing has changed, because nothing has. The world is exactly as it should be. I stand at the edge of it, watching. The girl is across the village, her back half turned, speaking with the others. Her posture is stiff, her words careful. She is trying to pretend, trying to fit herself back into the pattern. But I see the way her fingers twitch at her sides. She is waiting for me to do something, to say something, to tell her what happens now. But there is nothing to say, because I know what happens now. The cycle will continue. The arrivals will come again. The village will be given its offerings, its trials. And when the time comes, when the cracks in the illusion become too wide, they will fix us or erase us. I breathe deeply, watching her, feeling the weight of the moment press against my ribs. She remembers, and if she remembers too long, she will disappear like the creature in my youth, like the ones before her, like me if I am not careful. She turns fully now, her dark eyes locking onto mine. There is something there, a question unspoken, a thread stretched too tight. She is waiting for me to fight, for me to tell her we will not accept this, for me to give her a reason to believe we are more than this. But the jungle is watching, the village is listening, and I feel the weight of their eyes beyond the veil. The pattern will hold. It always does. I see it now, the truth of it, the inevitability. I could speak. I could tell her to run. I could tell her to forget. But before I can decide, before I can shape the words, a sound rises from the jungle, a new sound, the first breath of an arrival. The village stills. The children stop playing. The women pause in their work. The hunters lift their heads, their hands already tightening around their spears. I do not move. The girl does not move. The jungle exhales, and the villagers smile. I see it spread through them, one by one, as they turn toward the sound, not with fear, but with excitement, with worship, because the gods have given us another gift, because this is how it has always been, and now I must choose. The girl's eyes flick to me, pleading, questioning. I open my mouth, and I smile, a slow, careful smile, the same smile I have given for decades, the same words I have spoken every time the cycle begins again. The gods have blessed us again. The village cheers, the girl stares, and the jungle welcomes its next offering, the end.